Hello, this is Roberto and I'm going to teach you physics. As usual in the worst case scenario. So I'm going to explain to you something that I don't remember the details. Okay, so what I'm going to try to explain is using a real case, what is the importance of probability. Okay, there was this man called Leonard Mlodinow. We have to read somehow. Leonard Mlodinow was a physicist. He was 30 years old when he called at the end of the 80s. He was in the last century. He got a phone call, and it was his doctor. He, as a part of an insurance, they were interested in the workplace. He got a blood analysis, a routine blood analysis, and the doctor said, "I'm afraid." He said, "Okay, what's up?" I'm afraid I've got bad news. You have a wait, let me find exactly the exact words. He said, you have 909 chances of being dead within 10 years. So the guy was like shocked. And he hung up and he didn't know what to do, because the thing is he got positive for the blood test for HIV. So at the time there was no cure, and he said 10 years, but yeah, so people was dead with less time than that. So at the time it was like a death sentence. So he got drunk and he didn't know what to do. So he got again, fighting time, 999 in 1000 probability of being dead within a year. Dead within a year. So I didn't know what to do. But he has studied some statistics, and he spent the whole weekend like crying, drinking, eating, sleeping, not sleeping, and Monday he had a kind of plan. So something was missing. He had spent, it was this marathon in the TV that this Friday. Okay, I have like 15 minutes before it's late. So let me set my timer. And in 15 minutes I leave, so speed up. My mouth is dry, so worst case scenario, I don't remember the details. My mouth is dry, I have to go, so good for the story. So the initial plan of Leonard was to spend the Friday afternoon watching a television marathon of Star Trek, and drinking Coca-Cola and eating Cheetos, so fat, sugar from the Coca-Cola, and caffeine for the central neural system, and the space trek, the exploration of the universe and Spock and all that. So instead of that, he got drunk, and in the morning, besides a hangover, he had this feeling of you can't get phased, the phasers, I think it's called phasers. It's like a pistols, laser pistols, but it's not a laser, it's phaser. That appeared in Star Trek. So he thought, you don't get phased unless you're in Star Trek. So come on, that was my conclusion of all my weekend, being drunk and and feel miserable. But apparently his father was in a concentration camp during the Nazi Germany, and one of the lessons his father learned is there's always options. Very simple, there's always options. So at least he had one chance in 100 of being alive. But he thought there was something missing. So got some friends on the phone, some from the I don't remember, Center for Control of Diseases, CDC, okay, CDC, and a friend who worked in pharmacy, so because he wanted to check some facts about statistics, you know. Yeah, he worked in clinical trials and stuff, and tests, and yeah. So he was kind of making this idea up. I don't remember the details of the story, but it was something like one of the days he was feeling so, I mean, he was spending the whole morning working, trying to figure out, working research in university, but trying to figure out how what he knew could help him to overcome the situation, or at least to solve it if possible. Because having HIV was a synonym of having AIDS and being very bad, you know, and dying. I've seen, you know, I remember people with AIDS, drug addicts in the streets some years ago when there was no treatment, and they had like wounds in the faces, and they were like very thin, and yeah, he was suffering at the time. Now I think it's kind of, there's no cure, but at least they are controlled, they have, you know, the drugs. But at the time it was horrible. It's like death sentence, but a very, very bad death. And the second day he wanted to have the breakfast that his father prepared for him. I think his father was Polish, but anyway, when he was in the teenage, when he was a teenager, his father started to prepare his breakfast and taking the breakfast to his bed. And then the rest of the day they barely speak. But they had like this small connection during breakfast. Father prepared strong coffee with milk and sugar and toasts with olive oil. Okay. That's somebody that Spanish, like me, Spaniard. Yeah, Spanish for us it means from Spain, but in the United States Spanish is not the same. So that's why somebody came up with the idea of calling us Spaniards. Okay, so distinguish. Yeah, so Spaniards. I'm Spaniard because I come from Spain. So it was not normal for a Polish man to like toast bread and olive oil. So, but he felt like this. Felt like I don't know. I felt like dancing. Yeah, I think so. He felt like having breakfast, like olive oil with bread toast. It was at the time he noticed that olive oil is very expensive, especially in the United States. It's just curious because it's what I like to have breakfast every morning, you know, and coffee with milk and sugar and toasts with olive oil, you know, yeah. So he had an idea after finishing his breakfast. I don't remember what it was, but it was something like he asked about the health insurance